Illegals in my yard. Illegals in my yard. Illegals in my yard. Throw them some pesos and they work so hard.
Frittata!
Hey guys, Frittata here. I just want to say, can't we all just get along? I think that together, through sheer effort and loving one another, the world could be made a better place. Okay, anyway, that's all. See ya.
Wow, that was some very insightful commentary there, Moist Frit. I couldn't imagine anybody else saying the exact same thing. One of a kind. Your takes certainly can't be found anywhere else on the internet. You can tell us where this rates on the Moist meter later, but right now, allow me to just tell everybody, you guys are crazy. Wanting me to be a stereotypical Hispanic has caused the craziest surge of subscribers on this channel ever. We are now at 83,000 subs. I don't... 84 next, why not? And you guys have been living up to every single goal. And at this point, I'm running out of items. The only thing left for me to have is a bunch of cockroaches at my feet, alongside my modelo, my poncho, my sombrero, my modelo, my lawnmower, my bottle of moco de gorilla. At this point, there's no room for me to hold the silver play button. If I reach 100K for that face reveal, I will literally and metaphorically have my 100 subscriber accomplishment buried on one of the most stupid, idiotic jokes. My life is depressing. This will be the most depressing 100K goal ever reached on YouTube. Anyway, last video we talked about Mudahar and the flack he was catching for purchasing a Switch after telling everybody he wasn't gonna buy one and to boycott it, and how destructive it is to the gaming industry and to consumers and the hobby as a whole. It's like the equivalent of DEA agents going to schools telling kids to stay away from crack because it's destructive, and sparking one up in the car immediately following their lecture. It gives off the impression that, you know, that crack addicted agent can ensure there's more supply open for him and it's easier to access. Which, if that is the case, then Mudahar played one of the craziest 4D chess moves I've ever seen. He warned people so that there could be more for him. The cheeky bastard. A severe case of don't hate the player, hate the game. But nonetheless, it was still an incredibly hypocritical thing to do. I, for one, am surprised that he was surprised at the backlash. Most likely because it's not the first time he has done things like this and his audience just had enough Mudahar fatigue. Now, originally, I thought this was a topic just up my alley, but a few other content creators have actually made videos criticizing Mudahar for this very reason, because everyone's taken notice. For instance, we had Sensitive Society make a video on it, which I will leave a link to down below. And then, of course, you know, per usual, as expected, Twitter tore him apart. Mudahar getting bullied by his audience into making a 12-minute circular ramble apology for buying a Nintendo Switch 2 is absolutely fucking hilarious. Well now, in all fairness, Nicholas, nearly all of Mudahar's videos are circular rambles. Very repetitive. Lots of ladies and gentlemen's. Lots of, with that being said, seeing people giving Mudahar massive shit for buying the Switch 2 is pretty amusing. Well, now in all fairness, social media did say they were out for blood. Social media did explicitly say they were going to bully any and every single person for buying one. And I mean, can you blame them? Ridicule is sometimes necessary, especially in a situation like this. Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar here. So it turns out they had plenty of these in stock. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I knew you were gonna get it day one, even though you said you would hold off, lol. Hello Zoinks and Zanks, me and Mudahar here. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, took a chance at midnight, launch near me, and I kinda hope there's a day one exploit somewhere for these. You know, it's perfectly fine to want to get a Switch 2 at launch. I don't know why you went on about why you weren't getting one before. That's because Mudahar's not one of us. Not one of us. Not one of us. He never meant it. He loves to be a voice, and that's it. Talk is easy, as they would say. Talk shit, then buys one. You lying sack of clickbait. Unsurprisingly, the rage baiter still went out and bought this thing.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
Alright, okay, so this type of cruelty is normally to be expected out of Twitter. However, Mudahar's actions were so hypocritical, even Moist Critical had to make a video covering it without trying to throw Mudahar under the bus or reference him or even say his name, but we all knew exactly who the fuck he was talking about in the video titled Nintendo Switch 2 Drama.
There are two things in this world that never work under any circumstances: the McDonald's ice cream machines and gaming boycotts.
You know, he's actually surprisingly quite right about both those things, specifically the ice cream machine. Because I swear to God, if I have to deal with my nephew crying about missing out on his McDonald's ice cream for the billionth time, I'm going to sue McDonald's.
Gamers have an insatiable appetite to consume. To reject that urge goes against their very nature. Anytime something shiny comes out, you can bet your sweet bippy it will be purchased and played, no matter how vocal people are about abstaining from it and not buying it.
Well, there's gamers and then there's consumers, like what Griffin Gaming is. Gamers as a group have very little say in the industry whatsoever these days, which is why boycotts won't do anything, because the masses do not care. The consumers, the ones who grew up in this new era of gaming, where microtransactions, battle passes, season passes, pre-orders, early access, paid mods are all such a common thing. You're not gonna be able to break the conditioning of that generation. It's over.
Of course, there have been some outliers, a few exceptions, where people really did vote with their wallets and voted no. That has happened. It's just not common.
Well, at least people used to. You always have to keep in mind there was a gaming crash at one point. Speaking with your wallet was a lot easier when there wasn't thousands of influencers on a daily basis promoting products for you, telling you buy this, check this out, I like this, you should get it. Back in the day, entire computer systems would flop if consumers decided, nah, you didn't put enough RAM in there. Nowadays, consumers will accept the most low-powered of devices being charged in the hundreds of dollars. And that's because with the internet came a lot more FOMO culture, a lot more hype. The mainstream took over. Companies went from being worth millions to trillions. Gaming corporations are so powerful at this point. What are people going to do? Nothing. For every one fan they lose, 100 new ones come to join. Then you got the problem that people online just want to be liked. They just want to be cool. They just want to be accepted. They just want to have the right opinion. And that leads them to adopting whatever is popular, even if it's not truly what they believe. Which is why their actions never match up with their words or statements. I guarantee you about like 50% of the people in comment sections who agree and say they're not going to buy one are buying one. So yeah, it's a problem when people fake it till they make it, which is probably the case that was going on with Mudahar there. Video after video after video, only to have secretly wanted one this entire time.
And right now, there was a huge push against the Nintendo Switch 2 for a lot of bad business practices, and people were talking about how they're definitely not buying it this time around, they don't want to support it. And I'm sure you can already guess chapter 2 of this story here, the climax. The Nintendo Switch 2 releases, and that shit has been gobbled up like a bowl of cereal by a ton of people that were very outspoken against the Switch 2 and talking about like they won't be purchasing it, which was all very easy to say before it was available.
Oh, come on, Moist. Come on, drop his name. Say it. Say it. The name is at the tip of your tongue and you are preventing yourself from naming the obvious person in the room. I mean, fine, I'll just spell it out for everyone else. Mudahar. He's obviously talking about Mudahar. This is obviously him calling out Mudahar without having to tell him, which is kind of pathetic, really. I don't know if these two are close together. I don't know if they touch tips behind the scenes. I don't know if Mudahar uses Moist Critical's hair as a towel after he gets out of his shower. But you should just say his name because everybody in the comment section is doing it for you. Nonetheless, we know who you're talking about, and it's not some people, it's some ordinary gamers.
But now that it's here, they have jumped on that opportunity to own one, enthusiastically.
Ooh, can I take a guess on who it is? Does he, does he constantly hate Windows and tell people to ditch it and advocates for Linux instead? Come on, Charlie, the suspense is killing me. Just say the man's name already. I don't want to.
I didn't expect the Switch 2 to flop. It was very predictable that everyone that was rallying against it was going to inevitably purchase it, because this is like clockwork. It happens all the time in gaming. it was always going to be a super success. And I talked about that numerous times over my coverage of Nintendo and everything that's been going on there recently. So I'm not surprised that I'm not angry or anything either.
I am. I absolutely hate that all these frauds went out to do the very thing that they actively, quote unquote, fight against online every single day. Like, goddamn, should we really normalize not being a person of your word? I don't get why people are just so casual about it. Like, yeah, no, never a person of their principle or word, but that's okay.
Listen, we all play the game of clickbait. It is what it is. At the end of the day, we're all human.
I just find it very silly. And unfortunately, it's putting me in a pickle where a lot of people think I'm going to cave and buy a Switch 2 any day now.
Oh no, the internet has moist critical sweat and bullets too now. Oh no. I mean, it's good to see this kind of pressure being put on other content creators. Like, look what we did to Mudahar. Look how we made him apologize. Watch out, Moist.
Oh, I didn't do anything, guys. I'm sorry.
It's so funny. Never before did I think a little kid's tablet would cause so much drama. Even Moist Critical seems scared of it. It's just funny how he doesn't want to catch the same heat Mood is getting.
Point is, I've made it very clear that I had no plans of getting the Nintendo Switch 2. At the time, I had absolutely no desire to get the Nintendo Switch 2. And I still don't. I still didn't buy a Nintendo Switch 2, and I don't even have, like, the slightest semblance. Like, not even, like...
That right there? That right there was the face of a man who would fold at the gust of a fart from Miyamoto. You can absolutely tell the Muda situation has got him to change his mind and rethink his purchase. That's what's going on here. Good. Let's keep the pressure on these guys. Muda was a necessary sacrifice to achieve these results. Don't worry, he'll be fine.
I really don't care. There's a lot of people that bought it, they're really enjoying it, and a lot of people are reporting that it's a great console, and I'm very happy that they're having fun with it. At the end of the day, that's the most important part.
Not me. I want to ruin their fun. I want to make it miserable as possible. Don't stop. All gas, no brakes. I'm sorry, but the fact that these gamers still support Nintendo after Nintendo literally sold them cardboard for $100 is insane. What is it that Kratos said once? Close your heart to their suffering? Oh no, mean comments, dislikes, boo-hoo. That's nothing in comparison to what Nintendo's trying to do to gaming.
So it doesn't bother me whatsoever. I have never once tried to, like shout out a rallying cry to stand up to Nintendo. If you want to buy it and you're having fun with it, all power to you. I'm just not in that camp. I've never tried to be a boycott Barry here, trying to get people to not buy the Switch 2. All I've been doing is just talking about things that I personally don't agree with the way Nintendo's been doing things over the last couple of years.
I mean, that was good for you, but Mudahar did all of that. That's the problem. Jesus Christ, you can probably guess where this is going to go. The next 4 minutes is going to be him saying the same thing over and over.
It's cool with it. I'm fine with it. Not for me. If it's for you, that's fine, but it's not for me. I never told anyone.
Over and over and over again. I mean, Jesus Christ, you don't have to make a 10-minute long video. But how do you manage to not turn an 8-minute video into an interesting one? How does this channel have 60 million subs? This is just boring. What an uncharismatic fuck. Hey, he basically spends the rest of the video trying to convince you as hard as possible that he's not buying the Switch 2 and that he really hates it. And I believe you, Charlie, alright? Jesus Christ, we all believe you. We can tell that panic is coming from the heat Mudahar's getting. You don't want a single bit of that. You don't want to be lumped in. I'm just disappointed at how subtle of a call out this was. Like, he didn't even have the balls to say Muda's name. But nonetheless, he's still a person who did call out Muda. Unofficially, but we all know he did. Granted, it's coming out of cowardice, but it's better than nothing. Nintendo shills should feel afraid. Be very scared of the comments. Ooh, mean comments. Taxes.
Overall, guys, though, I will say the Mudahar Switch 2 situation is crazy.
Indeed it is. The domino effect it's creating is so funny. You don't understand. This is the type of energy I've been waiting from the internet for years. Nintendo got so many free passes from the internet, but recently not so much. And I'm here for it. I love it. Justified hatred of this company. Never did I think I would have lived long enough to see it because of how many people grew up with Nintendo and it raised them more than their parents raised them. But here we are. Here's to another Nintendo shill getting put on the spot. Oh, never mind. I'm all out of whiskey. Well, gonna go get some. Like, comment, share, and subscribe on the road to 100K. That being said, see you in the next video.
Free Congo sucks ass.